I really wanted to convince people that, Aki, wallahi, I promise it's not like that. Wallahi, listen to me. This looks very familiar. Oops, run away. Aki, Anani. It's money. Work hard. Chase the bag, baby. Chase the bag. Chase the bag. Do whatever you need to do. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Actually, welcome to my YouTube channel. And I'm just going to act like I've started again. Because it's been months since I last uploaded. And it's been months of me trying to really figure out what kind of content I want to put out. There's like a good 10 videos that could have gone up on this channel, but I kept talking myself in and out of it, so I just ended up not uploading them, and I cast away that spirit from my life in Jesus' name, amen. Anyways, welcome to this channel. My name is Elaine Imani Maua. I am a Kenyan. I am living in Hungary as for now. I am living abroad, and as of a week ago, I am 23 years old, and that is actually the topic of discussion in this video. I just want to talk about the 23 things that I've learned in my 23 years of living. However, obviously this list is not conclusive in any sort of way. There's so many things that I've learned in this life, especially once I moved abroad. I have I've just been on a learning streak. God was just like, mama yako amekufunza, ulimwengu umekufunza, wacha mimi pia nikufunze. Let me prepare you for the blessings that I have for you in your life. And I said, sawa, mold me. But the amount of fire that I've been put through for this molding. So I've been learning. I'm planning to share a bit of my experiences. I've been here for quite a while. I've had a lot of experiences. I've had a lot of experiences. It's all I can say for now. This is gonna be me talking a lot. Just bear with me, all right? Bear with me. For today, what I want us to discuss is 23 things that I've learned. I wanted to say 23 things that I know for sure. I feel like the 23 things that I've written down are things I know for sure as of now. As of 21st October 2024, I am sure of obviously, something that I've learned to also really embrace is the fact that change is absolutely constant, and I might change my mind about these things. Most of them probably not. In case I do change my mind, usijaribu kunishikilia to what I have said. If I said it and I'm not saying it, then I'm not saying it. And that's how it is. Get with it. As I continue uploading videos, as we continue talking, we'll get to know each other. I want to know my audience. I want my audience to know me and share my experiences. I think my experiences are absolutely hilarious to some point. And also, I have learned a lot through them. Some of the things that I've done, the things that I've gone through, I genuinely don't think you need to do them. I think you need to hear that somebody did them and they paid dearly for them. And, you just avoid doing other things, So please subscribe. Stay here. There are lessons, there are nuggets that are about to be dropped on this channel. Usiachwe nyuma. So the very first thing that I have learned in my 23 years of existence is to practice kindness and mindfulness in the interaction that I'm having with people, because you really have no idea what somebody is going through and also what the future holds. Maybe this is supposed to be your future husband. Maybe this is supposed to be a boss. Maybe this is supposed to be a client, your business partner. You need to speak to people kindly. If you are angry about something, me personally, hey, when you're upset, when you're upset and you want to shout, don't shout at me. I'm not the one. Just speak properly. It goes a really long way to be able to speak to people kindly, because you don't know what impact that you are having in that person's life. Maybe this person is at the verge of, the very end. They're tired, they're done, and they just need one person to speak to them kindly. Maybe this person has just won $1 million and they're looking for somebody to give this $1 million to. You really have no idea, and it doesn't hurt anybody or doesn't hurt you anyhow by you being kind to people. And do not confuse kindness and niceness, because niceness implies that everything that you're saying is something that they want to hear. Sometimes whatever you want to say isn't nice. Sometimes the things that you want to say can be hurtful. But can you find a kind way of articulating what it is that you want to say? is the question here. Thank you. Next, you need to let your loved ones know that you love them. I'm not talking about showing it, buying them gifts, talking in their love language. I'm saying you need to tell your loved ones that you love them. Not so many people hear that every day. Some people are shocked to hear, when somebody says, I love you. How many times in a day do you tell your friend, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, whoever, how many times in a day do you tell them, I love you? I just started telling people that I love them. At the end of a call, we'll have a call. I'm like, oh, I love you. Sometimes it is weird, but if you do love someone, let them know. I don't even have a solid reason why. I just think that if you love somebody, you need to tell them. I find it particularly difficult to do it with my male friends. I do have male friends who I'm able to comfortably tell them that I like them, but I've been misconstrued so many times by men, whenever I say I love you in a very friendly way. Once I'm comfortable around it, even with my male friends, I tell them I love you. Because if there are people who don't hear that word a lot, it is your male friends. Especially if they're single. Tell that man you love him. Muongeze siku kwa calendar. Make that man happy. Spread love as much as you can. Obviously, I'm not saying that you shouldn't show it. You shouldn't do things to make your loved ones feel loved. But the message that I'm trying to drive home is to tell people more and more that you love them. I love you is just 3 letters, but they have such a huge impact. Yeah. The third thing that I have learned in my 23 years of existence is that difficult conversations in a relationship, whether friendship, familial relationship, or a romantic relationship, difficult conversations are as important as rain is for growth. If you're uncomfortable, you have to say it. Otherwise, how is this other person supposed to know what makes you uncomfortable if, one, you don't even voice them in the first place? Especially if it's a friend of yours that you know really, really well, you know their behaviors, you know their values, you know things that they love doing, and you see them acting out of character, you need to call them out. You need to be like, excuse me, you said your goal in life was ABCD. Why are you not doing that? Difficult conversations are difficult. That's why they're called difficult conversations, but they're necessary. Some of my best friendships are still standing because we were able to sit down and say, Elaine, unanibo. Because of ABCD. I want to have healthy relationships. I don't know about you guys. Having those difficult conversations, they are like ingredient number 1 to having like a proper relationship. Me personally, I don't know how to sit in discomfort. I do not know how to sit with an elephant in the room. I feel a certain change in energy, I will address it. And the thing with not having these difficult conversations is that you risk breeding a lot of resentment against this other person over something that could have been changed so easily with one conversation. I am speaking that from a lot of experience. I lost a friend because conversations were not being heard. Like difficult conversations were not being heard. And it got to a point somebody was just like, you know what? Actually, you are when really, we could have solved it by sitting and having proper conversations. People have become so intolerant of other people. Siku hizi. Sometimes for sure people know what they're doing. But damn, we are human beings. Jesus Christ. Why are you holding your friends to a level of perfection that you could not even touch yourself? Damn. Like, relax. Tumekuwa so strict for no reason. We are having very superficial relationships because we cannot sit down and have a conversation because of your pride, because of your ego. Having a difficult conversation is also you just commanding the space that you own. Unasema, hapa, we're not gonna do this. And that's how it is. Boundaries have to be heard, communicated, enacted. And when people cross your boundaries, there needs to be consequences. This is a boundary that I have. If you tell somebody, don't yell at me, I do not like being yelled at, and they go on and yell at you, there needs to be a consequence. I don't know what a consequence is for you. Me personally, that yelling one, for example, is a very strong boundary that I have because I despise violence. with all my heart and all my soul. I do not tolerate any level of violence. Yelling is violence to me. It's the smallest form of violence. It's the violence that has not yet developed. Because if you yell at me today and I let you yell at me today, tomorrow you let me again, the other day you let me, the other day, what is gonna stop you from picking a mwiko and hitting me? We're not gonna do that here, honey. You yell at me, you're gone. You're done. And I tell people as soon as we meet, soon after we meet, like 5 seconds after we meet, hi, my name is Lane. Nice to meet you. Never yell at me. Boundaries have to have consequences, because a boundary without a consequence is basically meaningless. It's like having a key to your house and never locking your house. People just open the door and walk through. For a very long time, I've not learned how to enact and how to stand by my boundaries so firmly, but I'm learning. I actually find it like a big red flag for somebody who has no boundaries. What do you mean you have no boundaries? What do you mean your house has no locks? So anybody can just come to your house. I win. Please. Number 5, over explaining yourself is a disrespect to yourself and your time. I'm not saying you should not explain yourself. Personally, I feel like it is very important to explain yourself in certain contexts. For example, if you're supposed to go out with a friend and you're supposed to meet at 6:30 and you appear at 7:30 or 7, you need to explain, because you've wasted this person's time. Because it's your friend, do you not care about what effect you have on your friend's feeling? No, sit and explain yourself. But over explaining yourself, trying to justify yourself, listen, baby girl, it's not gonna work. What I've come to learn is that we are just characters in people's stories. And sometimes it's only fit for us to be villains in those stories. Like the only way the narrative this person has is when you are a villain. So anything besides you being a villain doesn't make sense to them. You try to explain yourself no matter how good your intentions were, no matter where you are coming from, no matter whether they understood that whatever the case may be, baby girl, they're not gonna believe you. I've sat and had to be comfortable with being the villain in people's stories. I am the villain in like 7 people's stories right now. And the story is being peddled. I'm just like, oh my God, it's so crazy. And I remember there's a time I really, really wanted to convince people that, Aki, wallahi, I promise it's not like that. Wallahi, listen to me. Aki, nisikize tu, usikie mwalimu. Wallahi, nisikize. Wacha niongee. But then I got to a point I was just like, wait, I've explained myself for a good 8 hours. And nothing has come out of this. And that is because I need to be that person in their story. They're the authors of their story. And they're writing you as the villain in that story. Remember, there's a character in yours. You have control over how much space this person has in your story. So just look at me. Ni sawa. Wewe ni villain. Wewe ndio unaona watu kama matako yako. Leave the scene. As long as you know that you had good intentions, your head was in the right place, don't ever explain yourself. Use that time to go out on a date. Umekuwa single miaka ngapi? Look at me tagging myself. Use that time to learn a new skill. Guy, go out, touch grass. When's the last time you walked? Use that time to do something that is valuable to you. Call your friend. Call your mom. When's the last time you called your mom? Wait, Pia. Jipende, please. Jipende. The 6th point that I have is that I am in charge of the voice in my head, and it is the voice that I hear the most. How do you talk to yourself? This is something that I have really mastered. NF said in one of his songs,
the mind is a powerful place, and what you feed it can affect you in a powerful way.
What you tell yourself, if you wake up and tell yourself that you'll never be great.
You'll never be great.
Not because of people's hate, not because of anything else. It's just because you've told yourself that you won't be great. So your brain does not even try to be great because it knows it won't be great. But how about you tell yourself, I'm confident? How about you tell yourself, I am that girl? How about you tell yourself, I have good bunda? How about Tune that voice to be a voice of encouragement and not a self-criticism weapon. Train that voice to work with you and not against you, because trust me, you need that voice in your head. Let it be your little personal assistant in your head that only you can hear. The seventh thing that I have is that God's timing is the best, and the best or the worst thing about it is that you just have to trust it. Kuna saa zingine unakapitia, kuna saa zingine tu uko na ma dreams hivi, they look like Mount Zion, and you have no idea how you're going to do it with your little stick in your hand. You really have no idea. What you need to do is trust God and trust God's timing. You'll never know that it's God's timing until it's time for you to know that it's God's timing. That is probably what is the worst or the best thing about it, because sometimes you're just like, oh my God, akina kapitia, maisha ni gumu. Things are just not working out. I have troubles left, right, and center. Meanwhile, God is molding you. I normally have this motto in my head that it all makes sense in the end. That is what I stand by. So you need to trust God's timing and align yourself to the will of God, because like God told us in the book of Jeremiah chapter 29 that he has good plans for us to prosper and not to harm us. Faith is delusion. You need to put in the work, trust the process, and wait for God's providence. Yenyewe, sometimes you really do. Sometimes you're putting in so much work. Unashangaa hii kazi inaenda wapi? I'm putting in 24 hours, 12 hours a day, 180 hours a week, and I'm not seeing anything making sense here. And then suddenly something just, trust the process. Trust the process and trust God in the process. God provides, and God is a God of abundance, by the way. When God was dropping manna from heaven, he didn't drop one for everybody. He dropped a lot. When God was helping Jesus perform miracles, there were 12 baskets of leftovers left. He could have left 3 pieces, and that will still be a miracle. God is a God of abundance. That mentality that you're having, that poverty mentality that you're having, that one is not from God. Hiyo ni ya mashetu hiyo. Wachana nayo kabisa. That's how it is. That's what they're saying. Yeah. I have to create and enjoy pockets of happiness in life, because times for problems create themselves. We are so busy, especially as an adult. I'm telling you, adulting is so difficult. Who created this thing? It have too many things coming at you at one time, and there's only one of you. When you're having such a hard day, if it makes you feel better to go have a walk, go have coffee with a friend. I don't know, just do something that makes you happy. If you allow yourself to get overwhelmed by bad emotions, by anger, by being sad, by that time to be happy, life does not create it for you. You create it for yourself. East or west, home is best. You know, I know you'll disagree with me. Here I'm living in Hungary, and when I tell you this, the first chance I get to move back to Kenya and be comfortable while in Kenya, I'm gonna take it. There's just something that abroad cannot offer you, that only home can offer you. I remember last year when I wanted to go back home, I was so depressed. I was just like, what's this? I was so sad. Let's say sad, because depression is a clinical condition, and I don't want to be throwing that word around, but I was extremely sad, and I actually wanted to see a therapist, because I was like, oh my God, I'm just it's just so hard. And then I touched, nilishika mguu yangu ilishika chini hivi JKA, and all those problems just, they were not with us in the room. Akisijui, small things, like even a kiosk. Like, you know, if you want to get bread in the morning, kiosk iko tu mahali hapo kando. Kama unataka Big G, iko tu hapo. Small happy things in life that we take for granted, they are not here. And they'll never be here. Even if they're here, it's not going to be the same as the ones that are there at home. God exists. There's definitely a higher power that is in charge of your life, that is moving us around. I did doubt it at some point in my life. I had so many questions and no answers at all. But even in the times when I was seriously doubting, I still had God's grace in my life in so many ways. You might have your friends to help you through things. You might have your family to help you through things. But ultimately, you need something higher than your friends and your family to help you walk through life. You need to trust that something greater than what you're able to fully comprehend is guiding your path. It is believing in you even without you knowing it. Number 12 is that experience is in fact not the best teacher. I am going to tell you stories now about how nimekaribishwa hii town. I listen to Mkuru stories diligently. I don't think I ever have to pick an envelope that I've seen somebody dropping from their pockets for me to learn that in fact that is a scam about to happen. This is why I am a big fan of podcasts and books. Okay, not books, let me not lie to you. I find it really difficult to read books. So what I instead do is I listen to podcasts, and I'm very, very choosy with the podcasts that I listen to and also the people that I follow on social media, because that informs a lot of what your brain acts out of. You need to feed yourself with other people's experiences. And these people's experiences need see anybody Pia. I listen to TMI podcast KE so much, and I started listening to them after 2022. I wish I started listening to them earlier. I genuinely wish I started listening to them earlier. Kwa sababu kuna vitu ambavyo nilipitia 2022 na 2023 that I could have avoided. Jamani. I could have listened to their stories, listened to those dilemmas, and then I'd be like, wait, this looks very familiar. Oops, run away. Aki Adari. People have gone ahead of you so that they carve out a certain path for you. You don't have to follow it to a T, but at least you can be like, oh wait, this path makes sense for me to follow up to this certain point. Why are you having heartbreak after heartbreak when surely people have had the same heartbreaks 10 years in a row? Why do you want to be the 11th person? Wait, Pia. I can only control what is in my control. I can only control my thoughts, my actions, my reaction. What you are saying, it's not within my control. And the second I try to control what you're saying, how you're behaving, what you're doing, I am losing. That is a losing battle. I have not completely mastered taking control only of the things that I can control, but I have been able to let go of so many things that yenyewe tu, no matter how hard I toil day and night, I'm not able to influence the outcome of these actions. What I can do is move forward from it. And that's just how it is. Money does in fact buy happiness. Money buys freedom. Money buys wealth. Money buys investments. Money buys things. It's money that will pay for you your trip to go to Zanzibar, Jordan, Dubai, Greece. It's money. Work hard. Chase it back, baby. When my brother and my sister ask me for money, and I say, there's nothing that makes me more insecure than being broke. Nothing good about being broke. Chase the bag. Chase the bag. Do whatever you need to do legally, of course. I do not advocate for people to do illegal things. Self-love looks like investing in yourself. Paying for that course that you need to pay for, investing in how you look, buy the makeup that makes you look the best, smelling the best that you can. Make sure heads are turning when you pass by. Investing in what you eat, ensuring that you take care of your body, because that body is the temple of God. What you watch, people who you surround yourself with, that is investing in yourself. Investing in also your thoughts. Investing in unlearning, relearning, and learning new things. Constantly fixing your mental space. Constantly being aware of how you're feeling, where your emotions are, how to control your emotions. That is investing in yourself. You need to own yourself so much that people can feel it when they see you. I'm very self-aware. If there's something I have invested in is being so aware of myself, even when I am doing something that someone will just be like, Elaine, what the hell is that? I'll be like, I know what I'm doing. Because I'm very aware of where my head is at. That voice in my head, like I've told you, we work together. It is so much so to a point where this guy came and asked me, like, Elaine, what do you ever do wrong? And in my head, I'm thinking, I do a lot of things wrong. So many things. It's just that I won't sit and beat myself up over it. I am constantly working on bettering myself, bettering my mentality around money, around love, around myself, around family, around friends, around school, around things. You're constantly working on the better. And that for other people who are not doing the same will feel like, oh my God, what a perfect human being, when really you are just working. Where you're constantly working. Invest in yourself. Be the best version. Let people ask questions when you pass by. When people see the group of friends that you have, they'll be like, oh, that makes sense. That does look like Elaine. Now, this is something I've had to learn the hard way. I'm not hard to learn. I could have easily learned the easy way. Ni mimi tunalijiweka na mjuaji. Your friends are also a reflection of who you are. My friends work so hard. My friends are so good at what they do. My friends look good. My friends smell good. My friends are big people in their careers. People need to look at your group of friends and say, oh my God, that makes sense. It makes sense why she is the way she is. Your friends, that's a social currency. That's a social currency. Invest in the best possible. Love is a decision. I believe this is number 16. Love is a decision, not a feeling. You decide to love people. You don't feel love. You decide love. Because if love was a feeling, then the second somebody annoys you, then it is within your rights to say that you hate them. But then love is feeling like you can appreciate this person even when they annoy you, even when they are not at their best. You keep choosing them. You keep choosing them as your friend. Keep choosing them as your partner. Love is a choice. And how did I even learn this? I feel like this is one of those things that I've not had to experience, and I've learned through people, and I've been able to do like an audit of the people that I have in my life, and even for them, I feel like they do choose me. My friends constantly choose me because sometimes I'm not the best of friends. I'm not the best friend in the room. Sometimes I do not meet the expectations, but they still choose to be my friends. Your friends will cross your boundaries. Your family will cross your boundaries. People will cross your boundaries ever so often, which I know I did say they need to have consequences for sure. But then you choose to love them, even despite them having all these shortcomings. It's not a feeling, because if it was a feeling, then the second somebody does something that you do not agree with, then you let go of them. That's not love. That's not love in my books. Love is allowing people to make mistakes, allowing people to be imperfect, because we're all so very much imperfect, allowing people to be probably the worst versions of themselves in front of you, and still choosing to tell them, I love you so much. I'm proud of you. I cannot wait for you to grow. I cannot wait to see your growth. That is love. I love my friends so much. And my dad and my mom. And my sister. And my sister. God, I love that girl so much. And my brothers. And my sisters. And my brothers. I love them so much, Sometimes those people really get on my nerves. Do you know, it's the people that you love that actually get on your nerves. But even despite them getting on your nerves like that, you still really love them. That's why, I know for sure, I'm not feeling love for you. I've decided that I love you. And the day somebody stops loving you, they decided to stop loving you. Live below your means all the time. If you have 2,000 bob, you do not have money, stay at home. Do not try to impress people with money that you do not have. Utakufa na madeni. Deni zitakuwa. Deni zimeua watu na zitakuwa wewe pia. Imagine usikufe leo kwa sababu unajaribu kwenda Dubai na pesa yako inakufikisha Lamu. Kama pesa inakufikisha Lamu, enda Lamu. Kama pesa ikutoe Nairobi, baki Nairobi. Simple. I'm also not saying that you look like your problems. Don't look like your problems. No matter how elevated I become in life, I must always feel the ground beneath me. And I had this specific phrase from Bad Girl Really herself, and I really respect that. And this is not me saying that you shouldn't be proud of yourself for all the achievements that you've had, all this, in your life. Be proud. Wear them. Guy, vapa, andika hata kwa kichwa yako if it's possible. Scream it to the entire world. Let people know that you've made an achievement. But never let these achievements give you a sense of self-importance that you start looking at people as less than. Something that I had Abel Mutua saying is that, because he was asked like, how come you're so humble with all the things that you've achieved so far? And he said, up and down, up and down. The day you get up and you think, oh my God, I don't need anybody else below me, and also do not like looking at life as above and below. I hate that concept with my entire life. But the second you start thinking that just because I have achieved ABCD, other people are less than, you first of all devalue what people's achievements are, because not everybody wants achievements that you have. For example, other people see themselves, define success very differently, and they're probably successful. You might not view it as success, but they view it as success. There's a difference between healthy pride and arrogance. If you become arrogant, then your feet are way above the ground, and there's an elevated sense of self-importance that you forget that mtu anapandanga pia hushuka. Na ukishuka, you will need people. But do not erode relationships that you have just because you have this certain success. Just the way failures don't define you, successes also don't define you. They for sure add to your human experience. They make your human experience richer, for sure. But for the life of me, do not let the successes that you have make you feel any more important than other people. I need community. And the second you become arrogant, you erode any sense of community that you have. We are all solving several problems at a go. It is okay to rest. I swear to God, if one day you just feel like today, I have no energy, and that day you do not have deadlines, sleep, baby girl. Rest, and do not feel guilt about resting, because you did not feel guilt when you are working and you're putting your body under so much duress, under so much pressure. So why are you feeling guilt because you are resting? I've taught myself to not feel guilty. I will not even think about that work. I'm resting. Sorry. Let me answer that question on Monday. Nothing good comes out of drinking alcohol. Especially if you're using alcohol to kind of make yourself feel better about a situation, if you're using it to boost confidence, I just feel like, no girl, get that confidence from your system. You wake up the next morning, kichwa inakuuma. In fact, hata pombe ulikuwa unakunywa si tamu, ukaamka na kichwa inakuuma, hangover imekushika proper, huwezi tembea vizuri, mwili yako high function. I have had the worst experiences with alcohol. I think they are the ones that are informing this mentality that I have now with alcohol. Wewe, nimejipata situations zenye niliniambia nikijipata ya tatu, Mungu ataniambia wewe sasa ni kama unataka dunia ikufunze. Funzwa. It's not like I was even a chronic drinker and that nilikuwa ninakunywa kila siku. At some point, I was heading there. This like 2022, I was probably heading there because I would always drink to kind of make me less anxious about meeting new people, because I was meeting new people and it always made me very anxious to meet new people. But really the quality of my life, yani, that waking up with a hangover, you sit and you ask yourself, is this the kind of life I want to live? Is this it? Like, is this the human experience? Energy does not lie. If you feel like they hate you, they do. If you feel like they love you, they do. If you feel like, oh my God, we are going to be such good friends, you will become such good friends. Energy does not lie. Short, sweet, simple. The world has so much to offer. Accord yourself the chance to travel the world and view other people's cultures and see the world from another perspective, from many other perspectives. I don't know. At some point, I used to feel like the way I'm living life is the only way people live life, until I moved abroad and I realized, wow, some people do not even know of how I live life. The world is literally your oyster. Exploit as much as you can. The world, not the sea, not space, the world, here, where God put us. Here, this space that we have. If you want to visit, if you want to explore the sea and space, do you. Save money, travel the world. See what God has put on this beautiful earth. I visited Lake Como and I was just like, surely I have never appreciated God's creation as much as I did on that trip. Wow! that place has to be the most beautiful place on earth, on planet Earth. And I've not yet even visited Switzerland. Pictures do not give you the full picture of a place, for example. Like you will not understand how beautiful and how not even picturesque, how just stunning and so beautifully crafted a place like Lake Como is until you go to Lake Como. Last and certainly not least, trust your instincts. Listen, you need to be able to trust your instincts so delusionally, yenye, it's not even apparent. Like, your instinct is just telling you, leave the room now. Leave the room now. You look around, you see no danger. You're just seeing nice people. No, nothing is going on. No energy. Everything is just fine. But if your instinct is telling you, leave the room, right this second, leave the room. You'll find out later why you needed to leave that room at the time. Sometimes maybe it's a false alarm. Maybe your instincts is just checking to see whether you trust it sometimes. My instincts get really, really strong when I align myself to my faith. My instincts become a whole lot stronger than when I'm just trusting them blindly. I feel like God really plugs into my instincts as well. I feel like our instincts are God's way of speaking to us. Anyways, those are the 23 things that I had in line. I feel like I've really, really been talking. It's been like an hour, 20 minutes of me just yapping. But I do hope that you enjoyed the video. I do hope that you've learned something that, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments, because I feel like some things they're just things I live by. All these 23 things that I've said, and 23 plus others, they're things that I just live by and things that inform my everyday decisions, things that I'm trying to ensure that every single day I am aligned to. 23 feels like greatness. 23 feels like I'm about to do a lot of things. It feels like this is my year of... It just feels different. It just feels different. Let me say that. I feel a lot more powerful than I have ever felt before. I'm just gonna finish it from there. And subscribe, please. I have been at 800 for a long time, and I'm not blaming anybody for that. That is absolutely my fault. But I'm trying to get to 1,000, 1,500 by the end of the year. Thank you so much for engaging with me, for listening to the video, and I hope to see you in the next. Thank you.